Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to review the new album from Goatwhore titled Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven. So we've been listening to this album non-stop for the past week. I'm going to hand the floor over to Vile. What are your thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed this album. I thought it was pretty good. But I have gripes, I always do. So where do I start? What do I say? Where do I go from here? Goatwhore is a band that I've been listening to for a while, but I've never really loved this band. But anytime I put them on, I'm like, okay, this is good shit. I'm going to get this out of the way because we're both probably going to say the same thing. This is great background music.
Yeah.
I feel like I could put this music on anytime, no matter what I'm doing, and just let it play, and it's fine. From beginning to end, there's no songs that are boring. There's no songs that are like, I got to skip this because it's blah, blah, blah. The fault comes in this fact that it's all kind of just the same. And this is a gripe we have over and over again on this channel with a lot of bands, a lot of albums, a lot of artists, a lot of genres tend to get very stale very fast. Now, it's hard to be critical because it's not that's bad, but it's when you talk about it this way, it makes it sound bad.
I think a part of it comes down to the way that we listen to these albums as well. When you listen to an album like this on repeat over and over and over, it gets a little bit difficult when there's not as much contour or substance, right?
That's right. That's a good way to put it. We can say, this album got boring over the week, which it didn't, but we could say that. But doesn't necessarily mean it's a boring album. It just means we overplayed it, but that's what we do here. We're stress testing it, basically. So there's no bad songs, really, but there's a couple songs that I found favorable. One of those songs specifically stood out more than anything else on this album throughout the entire week, and it's the song that we both gravitated towards on our first impression, and that's track number 7, Victory, is The Lightning of Destruction. For some reason, I don't even know what it is, that song stands out amongst all the other songs. It's just has a way cooler vibe to it. It's maybe a tempo change, or it could be the riffs or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't pinpoint what it was about it, but every time the song came on, I went, okay, here it is, and I turned it up a bit. The other song that I thought was really good, not quite as good, was number 5, Death from Above. I thought that was a really good track. Again, I can't pinpoint an exact reason. It's just some songs just hit the spot better than other songs. Not sure why. The rest of it, though, was still good. Like, I can name a few other tracks that were decent. The last track, and I was Delivered from the Wound of Perdition. Born of Satan's Flesh was like, they're all decent tracks, but only 2 of them were like noteworthy. But I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? I don't have a lot to say.
I find it funny that you mentioned the 2 tracks that you did, because those are both of my standout tracks as well.
Makes sense.
Is The Lightning of Destruction still feels cool to me. Death from Above has a cool riff, and also it breaks up the pace a little bit, enough that it's noticeable enough, and I was really glad for that, because one of my problems with this album is that it lacked contour.
Yeah.
And it lacked, I don't want to say substance, but it feels like there isn't much to take from it. It just kind of is what it is.
Feels like it's all one level.
Exactly. It just starts in one place, and it just keeps going. And, I feel like even if you're going to binge this album or not, I feel like, it kind of just does one thing.
Yeah.
Not to say, it's just one trick pony album. Because one thing I like about this band from listening to this album is that it blends genres.
Yeah.
Death metal, black metal, and a bit of maybe thrash. You just get a kind of like,
a lot of thrash.
You put that in a blender. And it's like, oh, this is a pretty unique sounding band in that regard. It's just, I wish they had more songs like Death from Above that actually felt like they were changing the album up a little bit. And I think if this album had songs that broke up the pace, that did something a little bit different enough to kind of turn your head and give you a break from the action, that would elevate this album so much. Because you've got cool riffs and stuff, and those riffs would be even more special if they were supported by alternative sounds.
I agree 100%. That's very well put. Another thing that I do like about this album, this band, is they're very dark. Like, and I mean, I'm talking like the satanic kind of stuff. Like, I don't know if I would call them a satanic band, but they definitely have that theme in a lot of their songs.
Born of Satan's Flesh sounds pretty satanic.
Sounds pretty satanic, yeah. But I mean, I don't know if they're like deicide, type Satanist.
Or like Behemoth.
I think these guys are probably more satanic than Behemoth, I would say. Maybe, I don't know, fuck. I'm not much of a lyric guy, but I'll go by song titles alone and a little bit of imagery, but...
The album name is Angel Hung from the Arches of Heaven, like, damn.
That's brutal as fuck as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, they got some stuff going on. The riffs are good, there's some good solos on there, it's got great energy. As TV Fish mentioned, it's a blend of genres, like there's a lot of different stuff going on. They do a very good job in this, putting it all in this like melting pot kind of thing. Let's rate it. I guess I'll go first. I'm going to give it a slightly unfavorable score, only because like the points you listed about, you know, it lacking a bit of contour and, you know, some stuff to break up the pace would have helped it a lot more. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think it's slightly sub-medium, which is I guess what 4.5 means. Sorry to explain that to you. But it's a very accurate, yeah. So I wish, I mean, I did not enjoy it. I thought it was fine. You guys should definitely check it out. If you think 4.5 is a bad score, don't think that, oh, I shouldn't check this out because whatever. But what do you give it?
Well, you know, this album actually reminded me a lot of another album that we covered on the channel this year, and that was Complete Control by Misery Index, where we had the same complaint essentially.
Yeah.
Now, considering this album, another thing I forgot to mention, this album has good solos. A solo would come on, I think, yeah, that's good. That's a good one. It's got interesting solos. So stuff like that, stuff like the genre blending, stuff like there are a few songs that actually did stand out, makes me say, okay, I do think this album is better and like it more than that Misery Index album.
Do you remember what we scored that album?
Yes, we both gave it a certain score, and however, the next point up from this score, I don't feel like I can really justify giving this album because this album still is kind of like a flat line of its own momentum. So I'm going to match my score for Misery Index and give it a 5.5.
What did I give it?
A 5.5 as well.
Okay.
Now,
fair enough.
I just want to make it clear, I do like this album more, but I can't really justify a 6, so it's going to get a 5.5 from me.
Fair enough. Those are our scores, 5.5 and 4.5. But guys, as I just said, check the album out for yourself. Our scores might not be the best, but we're trying to, you know, find the light. It's not a bad album, guys. It really isn't. So check it out. Leave your thoughts down below and let us know what you guys think of this album from Goatwhore. And sound off and let us know all that other fun stuff. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. I'm Bile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
And we'll see you guys in the next video. Keep those heads banging.